This is part 2 of how to publish your book, self-publishing versus traditional publishing. If you haven't heard part 1 of this episode, please click the link on top of your screen or in the description below. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is A. David Singh, author and dog dad who writes fantasy stories set in magical Rome universe. You might have heard it takes 6 months to 2 years to traditionally publish a book. But that's not the whole truth. Let's peel this interesting onion and give you a realistic estimate of the publishing timelines. Traditional publishing is a two-step process in which the author has to first find a literary agent, and then the literary agent has to get the book accepted by a publisher. However, there is no guarantee that one or both these steps will meet with success. There are plenty of aspiring authors who are unable to acquire a literary agent, and those who do, there is no guarantee that their literary agent will find a home for their book in a publishing house. Both these steps are time consuming, ranging from months to years, and are filled with rejections along the way. In reality, only a small fraction of first-time authors are able to secure both a literary agent and a publisher. Once a first-time author has successfully navigated both these steps, will the publisher fit the book into their catalog? And that takes 6 months to 2 years, or a little more in some cases. How long do you think it takes to self-publish a book? As you might have guessed, self-published authors don't have to jump through the hoops that exist in traditional publishing. They can publish once the book is written, edited, the cover design ready, and marketing plan put into action. These authors sometimes maintain a publishing calendar and release their books at regular, pre-planned intervals. That's how self-published authors maintain control over their publishing timelines and deliver books in the hands of readers at their own pace. In traditional publishing, the publisher is responsible for editing the book, getting the cover designed, and the audiobook narrated. These are some of the activities that happen during the 6 months to 2 years it takes to publish a book. While traditionally published authors save money on these services, it comes at the cost of not having a final say in their book's cover design and the choice of editors and audiobook narrators. What happens in self-publishing? To meet the needs of a thriving self-pub community, over the last decade, there has been an explosion in the volume of freelance editors, audiobook narrators, and cover designers. Now that's a fantastic example of supply and demand. While there is an upfront cost to bear in self-publishing, it comes with the freedom and flexibility to hire professionals who truly align with the vision that self-published authors have for their books. Advance is the money given by a traditional publisher to an author before even a single copy of the book has sold. The advance is paid in multiple installments from the time of signing the publishing contract to the publication date of the book. It stands to reason that authors with large readerships will command 6 or even 7-figure advances. For a first-time author, it is possible to get a sizable advance, but only if you come with your own readership. For example, if you are a celebrity or a well-known expert in your field who has built up a following, that would signal to the publisher that they are readers who are willing to buy your book. Simply put, the larger your readership, the larger your advance. On the other side of the fence, in self-publishing, since the authors function as their own publishers, there is no advance. Unless, of course, you want to transfer money from your right hand to your left hand. When readers buy books, authors earn royalties. There are a few important things you should know about royalties if you're planning to traditionally publish your book. To begin with, let's talk about middlemen. In traditional publishing, the majority of earnings from your book sales are split between the publisher, brick and mortar bookstores, and online bookstores. There are other smaller players in the book supply chain who also take their cuts. For this reason, book royalties range from 5 to 10% for print books and about 25% for ebooks. Secondly, book royalties have to earn out the advance before an author gets paid. What does that mean now? If you remember, the publisher pays an advance to the author before the book is published. Now let's imagine a future in which your book has been published and happy readers are buying it. In the background, the publisher keeps an account of the book sales and splits the earnings between themselves, brick and mortar bookstores, online bookstores, and keeps some aside for you as royalties. As more and more readers buy your books, your royalties keep accumulating. But does the publisher send over the royalties to you? Not just yet. They are waiting for your royalties to exceed the advance that they had paid you earlier. And that is why it is called an advance, or more appropriately, it is an advance against royalties. Once your royalties exceed or earn out the advance, will the publisher send the royalty over to you? You might wonder, what happens if my royalties cannot earn out the advance? Do I have to return the difference? The good news is that a publisher, or rather a reputable publisher, does not expect you to return the difference. Paying advance is a risk that publishers take in the future of a book and its author. Another important point to note: royalty payments are not sent directly to you. The publisher sends them over to your literary agent, who will take his 15% cut and then forward the remaining 85% to you. That's how literary agents make money. And this practice is related to the risks they take while signing on an author. We will talk more about the risks that industry professionals take a little later in this episode. And now, self-publishing. A self-published author earns about 60% royalties for print books and up to 70% on ebooks from online bookstores like Amazon and Apple Books, who in effect are the only middlemen standing between the author and readers. Here's a pro tip for you. If self-published authors want to maximize their royalties, they can even eliminate online bookstores from the equation and sell books directly to readers. By selling direct, self-published authors command up to 85 to 90% royalties on ebooks and audiobook sales. The common platforms used for selling direct to readers are Shopify, WooCommerce, and PayHip. I use PayHip to sell my Magical Rome universe books. PayHip is a simple and effective platform for authors who are just getting started with direct-to-reader sales. If this sounds interesting to you, please click on the link below. On my PayHip bookshop, I am able to sell discounted books to my readers and still earn more royalties than I do while selling at full price on online bookstores. Isn't that a win-win situation? And that brings us to one of my favorite author activities, marketing. Marketing is an umbrella term that encompasses all the activities authors and publishers do to place book in front of their ideal readers and encourage them to buy. As you'd expect, self-published authors execute book marketing strategies and bear all the costs on their own. In traditional publishing, the marketing muscle varies from publisher to publisher. The best case scenario is when a publisher does a lion's share of the work and involves the author at their discretion. And in the worst case scenario, the publisher does not do any marketing, in which case the author has to learn, execute, and fund all their marketing efforts just like a self-published author. However, in real life, the truth lies somewhere in between the worst case and best case scenarios. And the marketing push provided by the publisher depends on how big the publishing house is, what is their prediction of your book's success, and if you've been published in the past, what was your sales record. If there is one key takeaway about marketing, it is this. To build a successful author career, you have to market your books, whether you plan to self-publish or traditionally publish them. In 2023, email marketing, social media, and author website are considered important marketing tools that will help you grow your reader audience and cultivate your author brand. Right now, whether you're writing your first book or you're thinking about writing your first book, I would encourage you to explore the wonderful world of book marketing so that once your book is published, you will level up from a writer toiling in obscurity to an author whose books people actually read. Before we understand who controls the rights to traditionally publish a book, let us first talk about the risks that literary agents and publishers take when working with a new author. Literary agents don't earn money when they sign on an author, and they also don't make money when they are pitching books to publishers, because it is not certain when or even if the book that they are championing will get accepted by a publisher. Literary agents risk their time and effort without any guarantee of success. Only when a publishing contract is signed between the author and publisher will the advance installments start coming in. That's when the literary agent gets his 15% cut before passing on the rest to the author. Is the grass greener on the publisher's side? Well, publishers, and by that I mean acquisition editors in publishing houses, are inundated with pitches from literary agents. At every pitch meeting, they face the same question. If I publish this book today, will it make a profit tomorrow? In addition, they may also have career-oriented concerns like, will this book elevate my stature in my company or the publishing industry? What if the book fails? If the author has published a book in the past, then the publishers can probe into the author's track record and make calculated guesses. But in the case of a first-time author, the publishers have no yardstick to predict how much money a book will make for them. So they have to lean on their instincts and experience to weigh the potential book sales in the future against the pre-publication risks. What are these risks that publishers take? Publishing is a business and the risks are mainly financial. Firstly, publishers pay an advance to the author. They also pay their editors, cover designers, audiobook narrators, and other employees. Publishers print books. They maintain inventory, work with distributors, and ship books to brick and mortar bookstores across the country, all of which costs money. And if the book sales don't go as well as expected, then publishers foot the cost of books being returned to them. So publishers risk their money and expertise long before they start earning from a book. And they are fully aware that they may not recover their original investment. No wonder it is a top priority for publishers to pick and choose those authors who carry the least risk to them. By now, having explained the risks publishers take on a book, it becomes easier to understand that they hold the exclusive rights to publish that book. These rights extend to publishers maintaining control over and orchestrating all the operations that are involved in publishing and selling a book. And that's why new authors who don't come with their built-in readerships discover that the publishing contracts are skewed against them, making it important for us to get acquainted with the author-publisher relationship. A publisher is not a part of your author business. You are a part of their publishing business. A publisher should not be thought of as a boss or business partner, and they are definitely not your friend or mentor. Publishers are the gatekeepers of the traditional publishing industry who handpick creative talent called authors to accomplish their business goals. What happens in self-publishing? Who owns the rights to publish? As a self-published author, you own the exclusive rights to publish and sell your book. That gives you sweeping powers over your author career, from the big picture decisions down to the finer details. It is that simple. And now, may I invite you to part 3 of this episode, where we discuss if traditional publishing is the right choice for you or if self-publishing is the right choice for you, and 2 non-negotiable factors that are relevant to both self and traditionally published authors. Click on the video that pops up on your screen or on the link below, and I'll see you soon.